The Kentucky Derby, the Kentucky Oaks, they are drawn. The fields are out, and the betting Bible will be out soon. You can get that betting Bible right now at racingdudes.com. If you want to know exactly what we're playing, you're going to be able to get that. You're going to get pick 4 and pick 5 selections on Friday and Saturday, as long as top 4 selections from everybody at racingdudes.com. It is the giant one. It is the Kentucky Derby / Kentucky Oaks betting Bible. Like, so far this year, these Bibles have been good. I have a 17% ROI on my wagers. Jared has a 65% ROI, and that started way back for the Pegasus, and then all the big days from the Pegasus till now. That's what the ROI is. I've got a great feeling. I've already handicapped a lot of the card. I really like a lot of horses on these 2 cards, so let's hope it all goes well. So now you can go pre-order that betting Bible. It is right there for sale right now at racedudes.com, and it'll be out in full later on this week. So now is the time to get your hands on the betting Bible.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. That is right. The Kentucky Derby, Kentucky Oaks betting Bible. It's out now. So if you pre-ordered it, if you're a subscriber, it is available. You can go to your account on racingdudes.com, click down to download it. It's big, it's meaty, it's full of hopefully winning bets. Aaron, I know people, if they subscribe to any of the promotion or any of the products as well, and we've had a lot of new subscribers, they're going to get this for free, as well as the Preakness Stakes Bible.
Yeah, that's right. If you are a monthly subscriber, you will definitely get that. And yeah, and just to be clear, to download it, go to racedudes.com/account, log into your account, click Picks Dashboard, then scroll down towards the bottom and you'll see the download link there. So yeah, it's out. It got out last night around 9 o'clock, and yeah, it's very exciting. Or you can just click Racing Guides like Magic just did. Don't have to scroll, and then click that dig in, and then it'll take you to a link to download. So it's out. It's ready. I said on that little video, I've got a lot of horses I like. I still do. It is Derby Oaks Day. There's no easy field, so we'll see if they come through. But I do have a lot of horses I like on this one.
Head over to racingnews.com. Make sure you subscribe. It just starts at $70 a month is the lowest rate that we have, and it'll get you this Bible, which has a $50 value, as well as the Preakness Stakes Bible, another $50 value. There's $30 in your pocket to spend on betting right now. So or mint juleps. Maybe you want to just have a couple extra drinks at the bar. That'll work out as well. Speaking of Kentucky Oaks, we did have some news this morning that we're going to talk about here. Tapit Janali is going to scratch from the Kentucky Oaks. She was on the rail. She is going to scratch. I haven't heard the reason why yet. I do know that she was on the track earlier this morning, so hopefully she's okay, just something minor. But the big news and why this has major implications, Aaron, our pretty woman, the Steve Asmussen trainee, draws in from post 15.
I think that is the bigger of the news versus scratch versus who's drawing in. I think the draw-in's interesting. If you watch my preview of the Oaks, or you kind of listen to what we've been talking about the Kentucky Oaks leading up to this, we thought the 2 also eligibles were very interesting. Our Pretty Woman, and of course Candied, who's now 1 horse away from getting in. Time's getting short, though. I don't know if she's going to make it, but Our Pretty Woman, you got to look at it like this. Double-digit morning lines, very high morning line, and only lost 3/4 of a length to the morning line favorite for the Kentucky Oaks. So if you like Tarifa, you can kind of look at Our Pretty Woman and say, well, it's within the realm that she can get it done. Now, last time she did kind of set a little bit of a slower pace and still got passed. So I get that. However, when you look back at this, you go, well, that was her first time against Stakes Company. That was her first loss. And if Tarifa didn't fire that day, she would have been a multiple length winner of a stakes race and 3 for 3 coming into this thing. So I think she's a very important draw in. I think that, if you want to look for an outside horse, to not post positions, but talking about odds, you want to look for a horse kind of on the high end odds wise that could jump up and maybe make a little bit of an impact. I think this is one that you can make a ton of sense for.
Yeah, when we got done watching the Fairgrounds Oaks on the next Magic Mike show, I kind of made a bold prediction. I said, I think we saw the Kentucky Oaks favorite beat a possible Alabama Stakes winner. Might be a little too much too soon for Our Pretty Woman to win the Kentucky Oaks, but with her development, with her front-running speed, and with, we know that Alabama doesn't usually draw a big field for a Grade 1 race, she's got a really strong chance to continue developing into a really, really nice filly. Let's stay with the Kentucky Oaks here. We'll look at the current odds with the scratch of Tapit Janali and the inclusion now of Our Pretty Woman. Jin 21-1 right now, live odds. Where's My Ring 8-1. Torpedo Anna. Everybody's buying into the Ken McPeak hype on this one, Aaron. She's 2-1 favorite right now. I mean, Tarifa's 7-1. just FYI, your juvenile fillies champion, second off the layoff. She's 5-1. The horse that Jared drafted in round 1 of the fantasy draft, Leslie's Rose, she's 7-1. I am shocked that Torpedo Ann is 2-1 live odds.
Completely shocked. I knew the horse would take money because it is a heavily hyped horse, and she has a lot of talent. Let's be honest. I'm not going to run down this horse right now, but honestly, 2-1 on any horse in this race. This isn't even a Torpedo Anna comment. It's for everybody. 2-1 is too short for anybody in this race for me. And look, I think the 5 Torpedo Anna has a shot for sure, but I think 2-1, even if she wins, it'd be like, well, she can beat me at 2-1. That's a crazy price right now. And like you said, you're getting the morning line favorite went from 7-2 to 7-1. I can't see how that's going to remain the same. And then, like I said, just FYI, Leslie's Rose, Ways and Means, all sitting there 5-7 and 8-1. Those are great prices. So, I picked just FYI to win the race. I really believe 5-1 is perfect. Like if I can get 5-1 when they go off, win or lose, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah. Also, all of these horses on screen now are going to be helped by the fact that the rail horse scratched, because if you're really worried about just FYI or Leslie Rose being out there, well, now they're one post further in, so that might help them slightly. Although our Pretty Woman is a front runner, so if she breaks cleanly, she's probably going to cross over on them, make it a little crowded. TBL 4R1, make sure I got that right. Candied wins easily as she scratches in. She is the only horse left that hasn't made it into the field yet. Yeah. One more scratch will put Candied into the race for Todd Pletcher. That's another filly that I think has a lot of talent, but she's got something messed up in her head because she runs all types of screwy, doesn't change her leads in the stretch. If she figures things out, she's a serious filly.
You're not wrong. And the commenter there, I can see exactly what you see. Second off the layoff, a shit ton of speed signed on to this race. So even though she's a little screwy and her running style is a little, but when you see that much signed up, see that much speed signed up, I should say, she all of a sudden kind of becomes an issue. And look, if she scratches in, I'm not going to play her to win. I'll just be honest with you. But am I looking at her and going, well, there is a clear path where she can at least hit the board? Oh, absolutely. Because if it sets up the way it looks on paper, which that's always a big if, we know that, right? But if it sets up the way it looks on paper, she's going to have the perfect setup to come rolling and should improve second off the layoff, like I just mentioned. I mean, and you're right. She's screwy. That's kind of her problem, right? But you cannot deny that the talent is there. The turn of foot is there. So I think she's very interesting if she gets in. But like I said, we're getting low on time. We're almost 24 hours now away from the race. So we're going to need a horse to scratch here. We'll see what happens. Hopefully she can get in.
Yeah, the scratch time is 9 a.m. Friday morning. I believe that's going to be 9 a.m. Eastern time. So she's got about 20 and a half hours, less than 20 and a half hours to try and make the field here. But it would be nice if she did. She's really talented, and there's a couple horses in here that, I mean, you got to put 14 horses in the gate. So they're not going to all be stellar, but there are a couple in here where I think you can just cross off right away and say they don't have a chance. Mm-hmm. Don't want to wish ill will on any of them, but if you could kind of just step away so we could see Candied in the Oaks, that'd be pretty nice.
Well, I said that in the preview too. It's like I've never really, usually when you're on the outside looking in, it's for a reason, right? And this reason was they just got started a little too late into stakes company this year. We talked, well, for the whole career for the 15, and then, Candy just got started way too late. But there are a lot of horses in here where I'm like, I don't have any interest in these horses at all. And that's usually odd that the also eligibles are better, at least in my opinion. And this could be a wrong opinion, obviously. But in my opinion, the two also eligibles are better than half the field. That's very rare that you see that.
Let's talk about Kentucky Derby odds now. We have the live odds right now. The first one that stands out to me, Dornoch, 16-1 now. He was, Marshy Mitch brought this up right as we went live. Dornoch was single digits yesterday at this time when we were doing the show. There's also news that came out that Dornoch has been having quarter crack issues. Now, he's been running with it for a while, but if you already weren't on Dornoch coming into this, Aaron, hearing that he's got quarter crack issues and they're just patching him up to run, I want nothing to do with this horse. And I honestly start to feel bad that he's even going to run in it.
Okay, so before I even start talking, let me just tell you right now, I have no idea how long he's had it, what's going on, how bad they are. and neither does anybody listening, by the way, but still, I don't know. But sometimes, and I was told this from a trainer, and he doesn't actually train anymore, but he was a very smart kid at the time. He was assistant for a big trainer. I got to know him a little bit at Oaklawn, and I was talking to him one time. He said a lot of times when a horse is, and I'll use the air quotes if you're listening and not watching, it's quote unquote goofy. They're not really goofy. They've got little things that are bothering them that kind of make them do things that are weird, right? And so when I heard this, I thought, well, maybe it isn't a mental thing. Maybe this horse has some physical issues. And again, maybe they're not like, oh, he's going to scratch type issues, but just issues that it's not quite right. He's not quite 100%. So you think about his races. You kind of think about how his development seems to have been stunted. With this race could be a big, oh no, it's not type of situation. But from the outside looking in, you do kind of see that he hasn't really taken that step from 2 to 3, and he still is kind of doing some goofy things. I wonder if this is kind of playing a factor. This quarter crack situation is kind of playing a factor and kind of showing his absolute best self. Because as much as I was not for him in the bluegrass meeting, I bet against him that day. He was pretty bad. Like, that was not a good race from him. And I'm wondering if maybe the issue's getting worse and worse. Again, this is all pure speculation on my part. I'm just kind of coming at it from what trainers have told me in the past about how injuries can kind of really throw horses off, even if they're just little kind of things. So we don't know the severity of it. We don't know how long he's had it, but that kind of makes sense from what I've seen on the track, that maybe he does have something a little bit off.
That is, I'm not just saying that. That's really incredible insight. Thanks for explaining that. I just want to cite my source here real quick. It was over on DRF. Dave Grenning had a report about it. Now, according to the report from Dave Grenning, this has been happening since last December when the horse won the Grade 2 Remsen. This has been an issue that's been going on that long. So they've been patching him together, but also he peaked in the Remsen, right? Like, we haven't seen him do better since then in his last 2 races.
That's extremely interesting if that is all factual, which that's not a knock on David Grenning. He's reporting what he's been told, but sometimes what they tell the reporter is a little bit different, right? So that is very interesting. If that is true in the case, that is very good reporting by Dave Grenning. You want to know these types of things. And look, when it comes to quarter cracks, some quarter cracks are not like others, right? If it's a bad one, you're out and they're not going to let you run and you're out for a while. If it's something minor, you can patch it, the horse can run. But again, any little thing that goes wrong, it can affect them. So that's a story that I would definitely keep an eye on.
Mark Heft asking, any worry that Hissa scratches door knock because of the quarter crack? According to the article, apparently the on-site vets are checking this horse several times, which that's good. That means they're doing their job. What they're supposed to be doing is like, hey, this horse might have a problem. Let's keep watching him. Gargan says the horse is super sound and the vets love him. Take that with a grain of salt. Just trainers speak. They're always going to say that. But something to just keep an eye on moving forward. But Marshy Mitch, thanks for bringing that up, the 16-1 part, because I thought maybe that might play into it, or maybe just there's some more, I don't want to say smart money, but Aaron and I are not on door knock. So to us, it's smart money coming in on other horses and lowering his odds. Someone asked about Forever Young. He still is holding steady at 8-1. That's what he was yesterday. Catching Freedom. Actually, Forever Young might have been 7-1, but Catching Freedom still holding at 8-1. Fierceness. This is the big change that also happened. 9-5 on your favorite right now. And that's not surprising. Are those still fair odds to you? 9-5?
Yeah, they still are for me. They're probably not going to be for a lot of people, but for me, they are. And like I said, that's just relative to your opinion. There is no fact on what the fair odds are. That has to be a decision made by you. And look, again, we talked about this yesterday. These odds are incredibly fun to talk about, but they're not going to mean much, once we finally get there. But yeah, 9-5 is not that surprising, because I had heard where somebody dropped a massive bet on him. Well, a massive bet in this pool that hasn't even been close to matured, that's going to affect the odds big time, right? It's kind of like at Will Rogers, right? If I go bet $1,000 on a horse at Will Rogers, this is not that extreme, but to my point, if a horse is 8-1 and I bet $1,000 to win on it at Will Rogers, he's 2-1. And it's not because the public's hammering the horse. It's because 1, 2, 3 people are, right? So, 9-5 is probably not going to be reality. He'll float back up. It's just, early money's coming on him.
Yeah, I would guess that he'd be. I was honestly guessing he'd be about 8-5, 9-5, 2-1 as his final odds there. Just
Really?
there's a lot of hype. I know Cash Alley Surf's not happy with it, but there's
No,
so much
I'm
hype
not
on him
either.
that the Florida Derby was a record-breaking margin of victory. The buyers that he's posted stand above everybody else in this crop, and that's people are going to bet on speed figures, and they're going to bet on what they see the horse did in his last race. Those two factors are going to play into this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we say it all the time. Speed figures is the number one, and it's the most public speed figure are the buyers, so they get bet the most. I'm not saying that's how it should be. I'm saying that's the fact of the bettors. So yeah, you're going to get the speed figure thing, and jockey trainer situations. You're going to get that as well. And the bottom line is Todd Pletcher, Johnny Velasquez. People know who that is, and they're going to gravitate towards that. And I think Mike Rapoli being the trainer is going to bring in some money as well. He's a very polarizing person, but a lot of people really love him and they're going to be rooting for him. And then a lot of people really don't and will be rooting against him. But I think that kind of attention that he has, I mean, he's got to be the most recognizable owner right now. I think that will make a little bit of a difference in the odds as well. So there's a lot of things that are going to, lead people in the direction of fierceness. And I'm surprised you think he's going to be 9-5. I really think he's going to be 5-2, but I couldn't sit here and say you're going to be completely wrong about it either.
Well, we also are going to have the Mattress Mac money. He always ends up betting the favorite and puts a ton of money on. So he hasn't bet it yet. Mattress Mac always waits until the day of the race to do it. And you saw last year with Forte, that's kind of the reason why. Fierceness is very polarizing, like his owner, his breeder.
Yeah.
A horse that seems to be taking a lot of attention. Wise Guy money on Honor Marie seems to he's still holding steady under 20-1. Nothing to do with the horse or anything. I don't know if you saw this. His trainer Whit Beckman was in the hospital for 5 days recently because he had some sort of like a blood issue or kidney issue where he couldn't walk for 5 days.
Oh, geez.
So he's back, and like they asked him how he's doing when he was walking around. He's like, I can't feel my thighs, but at least I'm walking. And I'm like, I guess it's better you than the horse that's having this issue. No offense.
I mean, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm glad to hear that he's up and walking, though. That's good. And that make the story that much better, I guess, if Honor Marie could do this. Touching on the odds of Honor Marie, I mean, he's a Wise Guy horse. He's getting better. You can clearly see the pattern of him getting better. He has a win at Churchill Downs. And look, they've just said this horse is doing a great job in the mornings there at Gulfstream. He's training, or Gulfstream at Churchill Downs. He's training extremely well. So there's all kinds of reasons why he's going to take money. I think what you see is kind of what he'll be around by the time they go off. I think 15-1.
Rodney's asking for the odds on Freight Train. Who the hell is Freight Train?
Sierra Leone. That must talking about Sierra Leone. Yeah.
Okay. 5-1, Rodney. That's what he's sitting at there. Let's see. I'm trying to look through the rest of this field. Anything else stand out to you? I know we talked about this yesterday. TO Password 59-1.
Yeah.
That seems smart. A lot of people not buying into that Japanese hype. He is the third longest shot. Society Man is the longest shot. And then Grand Mo the first. I'm actually a little surprised with Frankie Dettori on Society Man that he should be long odds. I'm just surprised he is the longest shot right now.
Yeah, no, I am as well. But look, I mean, again, you're kind of splitting hairs. I think once this is not like general public money that's in this right now, right? So I think once the actual general public comes, they might do, the quote unquote rich strike effect again and be like, hey, look, we're going to bet all the long shots, right? And those prices might come down. So we'll keep an eye on that once the general public kind of realizes, oh, it's Derby Day. Let's throw the bets in,
A couple of people asking about Sierra Leone's odds here. Do you think he gets bet down lower than 5-1? And if he is 5-1, is that worth the win bet if you like him?
Yeah, I mean, if you like him, absolutely, it's worth the win bet for sure. And I think, yes, he's going to. Well, let me rephrase it. I think he will come. His odds are going to be directly impacted by how hard Fierceness is bet. So in Magic's prediction, if Fierceness is 9-5, Sierra Leone may be 5-1. Now I kind of think it'll float back up. They'll kind of get a little bit closer together. I think Sierra Leone 7-2, 4-1. That's probably where he's going to actually land. But I will tell you, I have been very surprised over the last, ever since Rich Strike, we'll say, at Triple Crown odds. You go back and watch all the videos, and I'll be like, I just don't, win or lose, the odds are weird. I'll say it every time. And we could see it again. We just don't know when that's going to finally wear off, or if it will wear off. So again, though, me logically kind of looking at this, kind of analyzing this, I think 4-1 is probably where Sierra Leone's going to land.
Last question, then we'll get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
This is something Mike Somich likes to talk about, so it's a shame he's not here. Which horse do you think is most likely to finish last? If you were going to play that prop bet, who would you bet on finishing last in the Kentucky Derby?
Well, it would depend on the odds that you're getting. I would definitely play Fierceness to finish last because I think you would get pretty good odds on that. So I would probably do it because I think we all, and you sit here and I know people are listening going, this guy just said he thinks Fierceness is going to win. Why would he bet him to finish last? Because I think it'd be good odds to finish last. And I know if he doesn't show up, his chances of finish last are very good. And I sit here and said, okay, it's a 50-50 chance that he's going to show up. If he shows up, I think he dominates. Well, you're getting value. Well, if his odds were high enough, 50-50 chance, then he doesn't show up, I think his odds are pretty good to get last. So I would put him, and I would also put T.O. Password on that just because he is the horse that's like, I don't think he's that good. I don't think, I just don't think talent-wise he's that good. And Society Man would be another one because, again, I think those are kind of the two horses that aren't going to be very, very good, compared to the other ones. I think talent-wise they're not there. But, again, I'd have to see the odds. And if their odds are, extremely low, you may not even do it because it's like getting last in the Derby it can be funky. It's not like getting last in like the 10 horse, Iowa Derby, let's say. It's like, well, weird things can happen to horses. Like, I hate to even say this, but I mean, Sierra Leone could finish last easier in this race than any other race he'll ever run in. Because what if he gets stopped? What if he kind of gets hit and really gets discouraged? And again, I'm not saying this has happened. I'm just saying in the Derby, getting last can be very funky.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Not knowing the odds, I think T.O. Password is most likely. I think you highlighted it very well. He's got 2 races under his belt. Both times he was on the front end and they were slow races. Seconds, multiple seconds slower than what a lot of these horses run similar races. So I would play him. But again, those odds are probably pretty because he is 59-1. He's the third longest shot I said here. So yeah, not that great.
So yeah, I think you're probably, again, you just have to see, but you've done the research on T.O. Password, and I didn't do as much as you because you had to do a video for it that you assigned yourself. Why'd you?
You're welcome.
But yeah, thank you. Oh, well, I had to do Uncle Heavy. Okay, so
but who's not anyway, even in the race.
But you I watched your video because I watch all of Curtis Kalleward at FanDuel TV and Racing Dudes. But anyway, I watched it and I was like, wow, you're doing everything you can to just say anything positive. Like, I could tell you did your homework and you're like, no, this isn't going to happen. So he's probably, put it all in a vacuum, all things being equal, he's the most likely to finish last.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us all week long. Not just with these morning shows, but with all of the videos and content we've been putting out. We can tell from the views and the comments that you are loving it, and that fuels us to even do more content for you and to work harder for you. So we really genuinely appreciate everybody that's been joining us for the Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks build up here. If you haven't yet, go check out a lot of the videos. I'll pull it up real quick to show you what we have on the channel, because there are some that are really just dominating what we do. Oh, that's not the right page to look at. While I pull this up, Aaron, do you know what time Blinker's office is going to be live today?
I don't know. I would speculate it would be tonight. It'll be a night show, but I don't know that for sure. No, I can't help you. But what about Magic Mike?
We'll be live at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. So in 4 hours and 2 minutes from now, plus, a few extra minutes because we're always a little bit late starting. But we're going to be covering races 8 through 12, ending in the Kentucky Derby, that pick 5. It's all graded stakes. I got to finalize my ticket today, but I'm excited about it. I have no clue who Mike is playing other than I think I know what he's going to do in the Derby. He likes fierceness. I would be shocked if he doesn't single fierceness in that race with the way he constructs tickets. So,
Yeah.
but check us
Yeah.
out, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific for that one. I'll pull up the channel now. Here are the videos we have. You can get long shot picks from Vinny Blond, who he thinks are the good long shot plays at bigger odds. His Derby trifecta picks video is doing bonkers numbers. People loving his ideas for that Derby trifecta. So go check that one out. Kentucky Oaks picks from Aaron. Encino, we had news about Encino coming out. Dr. Miranda has been live at Churchill Downs. She was there all last weekend. She got her full report on the Kentucky Derby workouts and what she's seen there. You can also find out in this great video from Aaron about his Kentucky Derby bets, how to play multi-race wagers this weekend using the Racing Dudes Rockets, which have been red hot. You were so close to at least a $10,000 score yesterday. I was watching Churchill Downs live on air, and I was sitting there going, come on. And you just missed it. You were so close to that big score, buddy.
Yeah, it was sickening. So 4 for 4 going into the last leg, had 4, 5, 9, 11, and 4 finished second, or no, 11 finished second and 4 finished third, but just barely got beat by the 12. And it's sickening because I got beat by the favorite in the last leg. And it's like, my goodness, you just add that favorite, it would have been like 10, 11,000. So it was sick beat. But I did get a couple of emails. They did not cash pick 5, but they hit some other stuff. So that made me feel a little better. But yeah, that'll probably be, depending on what happens this week, that'll be covered on the next Rockets hits and heartbreaks. There's no doubt.
We also have full profile videos for every single Kentucky Derby contender, except for Mugatu. So I kind of hope Mugatu doesn't draw in because that's the one we didn't do. He was not on my radar. I had Aaron do Uncle Heavy instead of Mugatu because I didn't, just wasn't. So nobody's watched Uncle Heavy, but that's because he's not in the race in Common Defense Scratch. The post position trends video, that one's always pretty popular. You can check that out. But yeah, visit racingdudes.com, and then over on the live tab, all sorts of great stuff, including carve out some time for it. It's worth it. The John White interview, blinkers off from Tuesday. 2 hours, 17 minutes worth of golden, delightful storytelling and insight from one of the living legends in the business of horse racing. So all of that stuff over at racingdudes.com and youtube.com/racingdudes. We will be live this weekend. We'll be live Friday and Saturday just for a couple of hours. I already forgot what the times are. I said, okay, here we go. Friday, 4:30 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's 1:30 to 4 Pacific. Just whenever the Kentucky Oaks talk is over, that's when we'll end that show. And then Saturday, we'll be live 5 to 7 Eastern, ending whenever the Kentucky Derby is. So we'll cover those. We'll recap how the day has gone to start the show, and then we'll dive right into handicapping the race prior to the Oaks or Derby. And then, of course, talk about the big race. So we'd love to see you there. We'd love to see you right here, rather, I should say, for all of that. We'll talk all sorts of handicapping ideas. It's a collaborative show, so whatever thoughts you have, if you have questions, if you think you know how you want to bet, let us know. It's a really fun time, and we'll be live for the big races themselves. So appreciate every single one of you. Aaron, Rodney, we did only 2 hours. Yes, we love you. We love each and every one of you. You guys don't understand how much of a grind it is to do that one day, let alone 2.
I'm glad you brought it up. I was going to comment on that. We are doing a shorter show. Honestly, the show quality just frays if you do 5, 6 hours. That's what we've learned. If you pack it in 2.5 hours, it'll be a much, much better show. So that's kind of why we did it. We discussed it, and I said, look, the problem is when you're live for 5 hours, by the time it gets to the really big stuff, you're tired. Like, you don't even want to be there, especially, if something bad has happened or anything like that. But you show up 2 hours, everybody's energized for a big show. Yeah.
Also, it's a lot less time for me to be drinking on air. So there's that as well. Usually by the end, I'm about half asleep going like, the bourbon's worn off and now I'm just ready for a nap. But we'll see you guys later today on the channel for Magic Mike at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. Probably sometime after that will be blinkers off. But once again, thank you everybody so much. Till next time, good luck.